Hey guys, seventh thread of the Zenthai Shiatsu threads. Today we have no force. To be forceful with our words, thoughts, and actions would be counterproductive to any true healing environment. To engage muscularly is forceful and creates tension. As body workers, simply using gravity and perpendicular pressure allows us to be conduits of ki. Consider the true essence of transmission. Empty your mind and allow the aspects of true love to pour through you: kindness, compassion, joy, and freedom. No force is needed. Again, a great principle to apply, especially to bodywork, but also to your life. I have been trying to force things so many times in my life, trying to plow through, force. And what usually happens is that either something breaks or I get tired. Things don't flow nicely when you try and force stuff. I don't know if you've read the book Power versus Force. I don't know who is it by. Come up with the name. You probably know. It's a great read because it speaks to exactly this mechanism of us trying to force things and then realizing that it's actually not moving in the direction we want it to move. Probably quite the opposite, yes? Nature doesn't rush. Nature is not forcing things. When the sun is setting, it sets at its own pace. When the flower is blooming, it blooms at its own pace. It's not forcing anything. It's just really beautifully taking its own time. It's designed time, using the incredibly beyond measurably intelligent mechanisms to allow it to be what it's supposed to be. Yes, and so when we use force, we usually don't trust. I usually don't trust that everything will be okay if I'm trying to force something. I try to force my body, I try to force people, I try to force things happening, and it never works. It never works. People don't want to be forced. Your body doesn't want to be forced. Things just don't want to be forced. They want to be encouraged. Yes, they want to be listened to. They want to be supported. They want to be nourished and taken care of. And they want to be given time and space. I want to be given the time and the space to come arrive at my own conclusions, to let my body sink in its own rhythm, right? If I'm doing an asana practice, and I come back to this asana practice quite often in these videos because it's a beautiful metaphor of life, right? It I show up, so I have the opportunity to show up. It's challenging. It can also be very nourishing and nurturing. It can be everything. Sometimes my body feels extremely sore. Sometimes it feels tense. Sometimes it feels loose. Sometimes it feels flexible. Sometimes it feels strong. Every day is different. And if I do the same practice every single day, then I can also accept my body where it's at. And sometimes I can't do that. And then I try to force things. And then what usually happens is that I hurt myself a little bit, or I stretch a muscle a bit too far. Then maybe a small injuries might occur. So forcing usually leads to undesired results. And when we can simply use our own innate gifts and allow gravity to pull us, or use perpendicular pressure, okay, use with the natural way of things, right? If I pour my weight perpendicular, the pressure is really evenly distributed, and I'm not using too much force because that's creating more tension, right? So to work beautifully with this configuration of reality, it removes so much tension. It removes so much potential suffering and pain if we can truly just use power, be empowered. And sometimes we feel powerless. And then in the accepting of that powerlessness, again, we can find our power. And sometimes right now, especially, I feel powerless very often, right? I feel like there are so many things that I need to take care of: my living environment, finding a job, dealing with this course, dealing with the people in the course. It's a lot of things. And I feel a little bit powerless sometimes. Okay, what can I do? I can try and use force to try and force my situation to be something that I want it to be, or I can sit down and reflect on, okay, these are the things that I have agency over, these are the things that I can decide to do, I can take action, I can show up, and then the rest is up to the flow of life, right? I can put out my message, I can do the things that I'm currently capable of, and then allow life to do the rest and use my empowerment, use my power, my strength, my experience, my intention to then let life make that happen, kind of, Because if I'm forcing, it doesn't work. And maybe there is a situation in your life right now where you're trying to force things. And perhaps you can reflect on whether or not you can try and let go of that forcing nature, of that desire to control everything and make it exactly the way you want it to be. And maybe you can take a step back and release a little bit of that tension and let it just sink in, let it just naturally set and develop and see what happens. Thank you so much for listening to today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and I am very much looking forward to seeing you very, very soon. Take care and enjoy your day.